Okay.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. Just a little bit of a refresher / this is what it looks like to go like from an invite or from forming, even in some cases.
Yeah.
All the way through to what closing, quote unquote, which I hate that word, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So would that be at all helpful to kind of walk through? And I'm just going to give a couple of instances and actually show you some messages that I went through. I picked out some just different examples, and then I'll go through them kind of quick, and then we can chat about anything that you might have questions about. So not that I think you need much because you're rocking it.
It's been hard. I need to get back on it since we're finally like somewhat settled into the house now. Getting more like consistent and back on a schedule again.
Yes, I know how that goes.
I know.
It just makes me feel better to be like, I have this control over this one thing.
Yep. Very much okay. Nothing else. I have nothing else.
Yes. Even if I have boxes all around me, I can sit down and I can do this in an hour, and it's something that is good about my day. Yes, I totally hear that. Okay, so I'm trying to think if there's any big announcements. We talked about last week. We talked about the new. Sorry, my alarm's going off. The new flavors.
Yeah.
And have you had anybody interested in those?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Have you tried them yet, or have you gotten them?
I ordered my first barista, the vegan barista packets. So yes. So that should be interesting.
I know. I think that's the next one we're gonna try.
Yeah. And then the All Access Challenge Pack special ends at the end of April. So that is something that is on my radar to kind of be like, hey, last chance, in the next week or so.
And then it'll go back up to the 200 again?
I don't know what they're going to do.
Okay.
As of right now. I need to listen. I haven't listened to the national wake-up call from yesterday.
Or I haven't had a chance.
So as soon as I do that, I usually try to do that on like either Monday afternoon or Tuesday, but I haven't yet. And so as soon as I do that, they might, that might be one of the announcements is what they're thinking, and maybe not. But as of right now, I'm not sure. But good question, and it's I think one that a lot of people have.
Yeah, it's such a great deal. Like, I can't believe when people are like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh no, it's okay." And I'm like, "What?
I know.
I'm gonna regret this later. I promise."
I know. Part of me is like, I wish I had that praise.
Right? Oh yeah. Like I totally would have jumped on that when I was first starting. I think I say that.
I know
that, but I don't know. When my first challenge group was a size challenge group, like it was specific to that.
Oh, okay.
It had just come out.
Okay.
And it was like right up my alley with my dance background and stuff like that. So I was like, yes, I'll do it. And I don't know if it would have been like, oh, do whatever you want. I don't know if I would have
done it,
jumped on it. I don't know.
Oh.
But, okay. So I'm just going to jump in and I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
So that you can see these thingies. Okay.
Oh, and then, so I will do my best to try to hop on these calls since I'm 2 hours behind now. It might be a little bit harder some weeks, but I will do my best to get on.
So you're at 6, it's 5:30?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's hard.
Because we're in that, like, we don't do the time change thing. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but Brady and I talked about it. It's once a week. So we're going to do the best. I mean, and he'll have later nights once he starts anyway. So if I don't hop on, that's why it's right at dinner time. But I'll do my best.
Yeah. Okay. Can you? Okay. I'm not sure. Okay.
Brady, you can get her. said you can get her.
Okay, can you see this?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so these are my peeps. And I am going to start with, this is a gal, she's actually my next door neighbor, across the street neighbor.
Okay.
And she, so this is an example of how sorry if I'm making you dizzy with my scrolling, this is going to happen because like literally this just shows you like how much you have to keep going. Like I'm just talking, we're sharing information. I shared. Okay. So this is how something like when they say something about, coming up in conversation.
Yeah.
Like this is an example of that, of how fitness or a challenge group or any of that comes up in a conversation. So starting here, oh my goodness, we're getting ice apparently. It's okay. Okay, so this is an example of, okay, so this is back in February.
Okay.
So I asked her, you know, like I hadn't seen her in a while, even though she lives across the street, but she just had a new baby.
Okay.
And so here she is. Not only is it coming up in conversation, but she's also talking about like the consistency aspect is coming into play. So when she says, I asked her how she's been. She says, I love seeing your posts. I dream of being so disciplined. For real, how are you all lately?
Yep.
So that, to me, okay, that is like flag going on here, you know, like, hello, you definitely I'm not letting this go, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So then I go on and I say, girl, if you dream of it, the next step is just doing it. And I'm going into like, it's so great. Like, it's just an extra push. Like you're going to want to, it's been really refreshing to simplify life and being, even when you're busy, like finding something that is simple and something that you can be disciplined in.
Yeah.
It just teaches you like, you know, and I'm just telling her about the group, and I'm not like spewing about Shakeology and programs and everything like that. Like people want to know what they're going to get out of it basically.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't immediately invite her. You see right here, I said, do y'all have any fun Valentine's plans?
Yep.
I even kind of changed the subject, which I was very nervous about because I was like, what if it never goes back?
Yeah.
But she kept kind of going about it. And I was like, I would love to have you in one of the groups. Like you know, you'll be amazed at how good it feels. And then she's like, hey, well, maybe so. So then I go into what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's an online private Facebook group. And literally that comes straight from, I'll show you. I have my Invite 101 almost always like pulled up.
Yeah.
And ready to go. It's going to come up here somewhere. I know. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. So sorry again with the crazies. I want to get it to where you can kind of, I'm going to do like a side by side to where you can see. So this is literally from over here. Here we go. Here's all of my invite examples. And I didn't even really use that for this instance.
Okay.
But this came straight from what is it? Because she's like, well, tell me about it. Tell me a little about it.
Yeah.
Which she kind of was like, tell me a little about it. So I couldn't like, bleh.
Yeah.
Kind of did. I mean, this is a paragraph,
Yeah.
but it's what is it? And what I did is sometimes I combine the what is it and does it cost money.
Okay.
I kind of have to feel them out a little bit. And it's like, because I always feel bad, like going through this whole thing and then it's like, oh, you want me to buy something? So if I feel sometimes you kind of have to feel them out, but sometimes it works if you can kind of like put it, like I'll take out, obviously, like when I copy and paste, I take this all sound like something that would benefit you. I cut that part and put it at the end.
Okay.
And basically like 2 paragraphs. So it kind of flows because that's what it's meant to do. Like it's meant to kind of flow into the question. So she starts asking questions. what she needs. I'm giving her information about Shakeology, and then she wants to know how does it work?
Yep.
And so I skipped some steps and went in. So this is just an example of how, like, I'm listening to her, and I'm asking questions, and I'm answering hers.
Okay.
But I'm not really making anything up. Like, it's all from here.
Yep.
So, here's how the group works. If they want more specific, like, what do you do? What does it look like? Instead of just like, what is a group? And then, okay, what do you do in the group? That's when I share all of this. It's a little bit longer. I kind of tweak it to make, I think I said something wrong, and I apologize. I'm just real. Like, if I mess something up, I'm like, well, I don't know where that came from. Sorry. Like, I can get you details. She wanted to know, like, that's when she asked. I usually don't share the cost right out until they say, what is the cost? How much is this? And that kind of how that goes. And that's when, so then I kind of go back up, and I'm like, how do you, like, what are you interested in?
Yep.
Whereas that's kind of something that came maybe before as to the script, where you ask them about, like, their likes and dislikes and what they're kind of working on and how long they have. So then she's like, I need to think about it. And I was like, so think about what you like and what you have not liked as far as workouts go, because so she was going kind of out of line, but I was still using the script.
Yeah.
So that's just an example of that. So goes on. She told me what she liked. I said, how about I send you some videos and we can go from there. If you like them, great. If not, we'll keep going and find one that you like. So I sent her the videos. That is from, no, not step by step. That's going to need to be pulled up too. But I have a video links document.
Did you just pull that, or is that off of the Google Drive? Like,
the video links I kind of compiled. I will attach that to the Boundless page.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. I will go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that a lot of these are showing up.
Okay. Yeah, that's helpful.
This is helpful. I got a lot of these. I found some of them in the back. Most of them came from the back office. Like,
that's what I was going to say from the Team Beachbody. Okay.
Yeah. So, and it usually does look a little bit better if it comes from Team Beachbody, but some of them are kind of dated. Like, some of them are like premiering in December. And so I had a gal that was like, wait a minute, like this December? And I was like, no, it's old. I'm sorry. I think it was hardcore. Okay. And I was like, yeah, it's already out. She was like, so I have to wait until December. I was like, you don't. Okay. So I have that pulled up. Okay. I have, I'll do the step-by-step order. Like, that's pulled up, and my Invite 101. I'm not kidding you. I use it almost every day still. Okay. Yeah. So I sent her the stuff. She asked more questions. She asked a lot of questions. This was actually a harder one, but this is just, and then she picked one. I said, are you ready for me to send you the instructions? Okay. And then she asked more specific about the prices, because I told her, usually I tell them, like, it depends on the program. Yeah. If they ask about the price. So that's just an example of feeling it out. Like I said, like, sometimes you have to share. There's another one in here that's literally, it's pretty much like step by step, like it just boom, 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 boom. And I was like, that hardly ever happens for me. Yeah. But it's good to have it. Okay, I need to take this part and plug it in here. So that's when I shared with her this section right here. Okay, for everything that I recommended you to be my challenge, like, that is right after. That's the how much is it? Okay. Directly from there. And I have I just change it, like, insert program name, the price and all that. I just change it. So, she ended up buying a challenge pack for herself and another thing of shakes for her husband.
Oh, nice. Did she?
So that was like, what? Like, and then I was really bummed because she put them both under her. So I got two. I got two. Is that how it worked? Yeah, because it wasn't like a new, I don't know. It was crazy. So I got 2 Success Club points.
Instead of the 4.
I really wanted 4.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's silly. And she was asking about a lot. And then I sent her, so she was like, I sent her on the 1st. Sometimes this happens and sometimes it doesn't. Like if it's towards the end of the month and I've already got my Success Club points, there's kind of a up in the air about like, do you close immediately or do you say, hey, if they have committed and they say, yes, I want to do this, sign me up, I want it. Then sometimes if it's towards the end of the month already, I'll be like, hey, how about in the next couple of days on the 1st, I'll shoot you another message and we'll get you started.
Okay.
And then, so she ordered after the 1st. And so that's, it started back in mid-February and we went all the way through. This was March 1st. Then I sent her from the step-by-step signups, literally just copied and pasted to order a challenge pack from there. So that's how that one went. And then she had some trouble with her order. And and then when she told me that she ordered, and I said, okay, I'm going to check and make sure that it goes through on my end. And then that gives me a reason to check in with her again.
Yeah. Okay.
So that one was her. Then let me see. This is an example. Like I'm not going to go through the whole thing with this, but, so this is my friend, Sarah. She had told me way long time ago that she was interested. Yeah, this is last year. This is
2 years ago.
This is 2015. I invited her and this is like, she's not responding to me.
Yeah.
She was interested in Country Heat, the trial of Country Heat. So this was back last July.
Okay.
I got back with her after Nashville. Country Heat is now officially available. Okay. She was working through PIO already.
Okay.
Like I just stuck with her and look, here's January. And she was finally ready. Okay. And there she went. So that was an example of that. There was another one this one is another example of, she was like, I just had to ask her. Like I said, I know this is kind of out of the blue. That's one of the, I almost always lead with that because it's usually like we've been talking for a while, but then they kind of fall off. And I got to her, and then this was 2 days later. So I was going to follow up with her, but she got to me first. And she said, your posts are very inspiring and I really do want to be in better shape. And so she's interested and she was thinking about it, but she probably wouldn't have said anything if I hadn't asked, that kind of thing. And then this one was literally from like, it was pretty much like, it just went down the way. She's a mom. She's in my mom's group. I introduced myself. We started getting to know each other. I just invested in her, asked about her holidays. This was back in October, what she had for planned. And then we've been talking, but back in March, I hadn't seen her in a while and I was just checked in on her. She said, it's a little crazy, but we're doing good. And then a couple of days later, I was like, hey, so what do you think? It's kind of out of the blue, but I was sitting down to send some messages. I always lead with my fear. Like I don't want to be a pest or whatever, but people appreciate that. And then all of a sudden she's like, hey, that sounds great. And so she was like, what? And I was like, do you know what I do? Yeah. And so usually if they just jump in like that, I'm probably like, okay, here, I'm going to give you some more information. And so this was an example of when I put together the what is it with the how much does it cost. Okay. Yep. If you see that, and then I stuck the does it all sound like something benefit you. I went into her goals. Okay. And what she struggles with. She answered it. Asked her why. She answered it. This was a great example of like, she just kind of was like, she was following the script with me. What workout she's enjoyed, she told me, if I send you some sample videos, would you be able to take a look at those?
Okay.
Then she said, yeah, I like to recommend a few at first, but if that doesn't look like what you're looking for, then we'll go back to the drawing board. I sent her these PIO 21-day fix and T25. If they're not real specific, those are usually the ones that I suggest first, because they're a little bit more like, I don't want to say basic, but it's kind of like, they're not real specific to like a certain style. PIO is kind of, but a lot of people like Pilates, that kind of thing. So take a look at those. I'll check back with you in like literally like the next day or the day after. So within like 2 or 3 days. She got back with me. And then we went into, okay, this is how the group works. I told her exactly. She said she really likes it. Don't have any big questions. I told her, even though she didn't ask, I told her how much it cost, because I knew that's what she did ask, just how much it was. And then she would talk to her husband. I checked back in with her because I didn't, I'll shoot you the order info this weekend and we'll get you set. I think that was another example of like waiting a few days. Okay. And then on April 1st, I sent her the order information. Okay. So this was into March into April. And so this was her order information. She ordered. I'll see if and then she sent me a picture when she got it. Like, this was like dream. Like, so it does happen, but I hope that those other examples kind of gave you a look into, like, it doesn't always.
For sure.
So that is, I hope that kind of gives a little bit of like what it can look like, what it looks like sometimes. I kind of used to get real, a little bit uptight about like, well, it doesn't sound like that for me, like, well, and then when they say this, and then when they say this, you say this. And I'm like, but it doesn't happen that way. And it doesn't just come up in conversation. And so it's hard, but if you listen for those like little, like, about wanting discipline, or like, oh, you do so great, how do you do that? And you kind of have that, or like, how do you stay motivated? Like anything is super great here, but how, like, so sorry.
I see. So, because I know we do like, hey, we have a challenge group coming up. Mm-hmm. What if it's kind of like an odd time, or it's not like, not that it doesn't make sense to ask about a challenge group, but do you ever ask just like if they're interested in like trying any of this stuff, or do you always lead with like inviting to a challenge group?
I usually lead to a challenge group. Okay. And now that I'm implementing the Shakeology groups, that can, like, if you're asking like towards the end of a month, and there's like 2 weeks left until you start your Shakeology group, and then like, you don't know, like, you kind of start feeling them out, and it's like, okay, well, you could order and jump in the next one, but if you're like at the beginning of the end of 1 month and it's too late to join that one, and then you're like, hey, how about, like, yes, let's do this, but if you want to get your feet wet, here's a way that we can do this, and in 2 weeks, say this is at the end, like, this will be next week for me. Yep. So I'm going to start, once it's too late for them to order. Yep. This group starting on Monday, which is basically like today. Yeah. They haven't ordered. I'm going to say, I'm going to start inviting for May. Okay. Next week, because it's like, they can't join this group because they won't have their stuff. Yeah. I'll start inviting. If someone latches on real quick and said, yes, I want to do your May group, then I'll say, okay, I'm going to send you your information on the 1st, and you can place your order, your instructions to order. I'm going to send you that information, place your order on the 1st, and we'll get going, even though you have until then to do that. And then I say, you can either use your Shakeology that you're going to get, because you'll get it in plenty of time. Like, you'll have it like within a week, and then they're just sitting there. You can either use your Shakeology and jump in the Shakeology for dinner group. Okay. For a 5-day, like, get your feet wet, kind of get used to being in a group. Yeah. Or you can wait and just kind of let it be up to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I say, how's that Shakeology for dinner group going?
It was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't super interactive, but the ones
Okay.
that I had in it, I think two of them, 2 or 3 of them are going to be ordering out of the 5.
Okay. So did you sent them the 5 packs of Shakeologies?
Yes, I had.
Okay.
I bought boxes of packets
Okay.
through Matt
Okay.
to build up my weak leg.
Yep. Yep.
And I was like, ding.
Yeah.
But I bought packets through him, and I just
Okay.
had sent them like a few different ones.
Okay.
But I sent them 5.
Okay.
And I taped a recipe for that flavor
Gotcha. Okay.
on the packet. So they had however many different flavors I had that was able to send out, then that's what they got.
Okay.
And then I'm following up with them now, being like,
Okay.
hey, what's your favorite? Are you ready to order a bag?
Okay.
So
Good. Okay.
yeah, and Melissa's really great. I mean, she has a really great group.
Okay.
Like set up, and great like content and a meal plan that you can share in there kind of already. So really all I had to do was the packets. They have like I put a flyer. This is a Shakeology flyer.
Yep.
I don't know how I can't. I think I got a packet of these somehow.
I think like when you sign up for your initial coach thing,
maybe that's what it is. Because I was like, oh, I have all these packets. So these. But now, like if you go in the tools, the product tools in the back office, there's it's just a front and back, and you can print it out. Like just print it out front and back on regular paper and trifold it.
Okay.
And it's updated. Like this one doesn't have the new flavors, and the one that's in the office right now does.
Okay.
I do this. I do a little like note card, like thanks for being here. Let's make it personal. And then so just so they know, I have a card that I made a long time ago. Okay, that's a terrible light.
No, I see it. Yeah.
So I did. This is like the Avery. Things. But I made these, and I stick it in their little note, and then I put this and the 5 packets just in like a bubble envelope.
Okay. Okay.
Oh. Yeah. So I think that's it.
Okay. Cool.
Good job.
Anna and I are trying to get both of us. They just bought a house.
Y'all are like in the same boat, like totally.
Which I know we luckily were able to move in, but they're like remodeling all theirs. We're trying to do a couple versus couple group coming up.
Okay.
I think we might have to like bump it back because we're going to start it in 2 weeks, but we haven't sent anything out yet. So I think we might have to bump it back 3 weeks, which kind of messes up our timeline. So we'll see what happens with that.
Oh, good. If it works for you, it works.
You know, so we'll see. I know we're both in that like busier time.
Mm-hmm.
Busy time.
It is.
But it's good. It's exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Y'all are doing so good.
Ugh.
That's so good. No, really, you're doing good. And I saw your Ruby goal.
I know.
It's okay. Hey, that's what I talked about. Like if it changes,
it's gonna. Yeah, it needs to change.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was when I was doing the Emerald in a Day group. That was part of my like.
I need to jump on and watch those videos.
Set a goal, and if it changes, that's fine. But keep going.
Yeah,
that's fine.
But I know I need to. Now they're settled, I'm gonna get back at it again.
Good
I
stuff.
need to get back at it.
You're doing great. That's fine. You take your time, and then you jump back in and hit it, and you're doing good. That's exactly what you need to do. So,
yeah,
it's awesome. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. So, is Dream Big having their call as well?
Yes. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go jump over there.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to turn off my video while we start dinner for that, but I'll be.
That's all right. Okay. Well, I'll know you're there.
Yeah. Okay. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.